guys, welcome to the Emmanuel Lutheran Church in Colorado Springs, Colorado. We are here because my family business is here getting to do some work. My dad and mom and my brother and his family own Church Organ Works out of Loveland, Colorado. And right now they are here at this church preparing to lift an old pipe organ's console onto the stage right there. This is inside of an old gymnasium. That's really cool. But this organ is really special because it is a theater organ. So it's not just a standard pipe organ. It actually has all the cymbals and chimes and piano and snare and all the fun things that a theater pipe organ would have. And it's something I've always wanted to see when I was a kid. Always wanted to go see like the organ stomp type restaurants where they play the music and have all the things. And it's a really special opportunity. My father's the one in orange right over here having conversations. He's busy doing his work. But we are here, been given permission to get to see what's going on behind the scenes. My brother he is in the middle of these guys here. He's kind of crouched down between everybody. There he is standing up. That's my brother Josh. And then that's our friend Mackenzie working here. And you'll get to see them as they're working through things. But they're going to set up a trussing rig so that they can then create a safe way to lift this large pipe organ console onto a stage and then safely roll it into place. And the pipe organ console is actually stored right here on this wonderful custom cart. And we're about to get to see all these bits and pieces. So join me on this great adventure, and hopefully we'll get to interview my dad and my brother and maybe even Mackenzie. So see how this goes. But let's see how this process goes. The skilled technicians working to make sure that the safe installation of this pipe organ happens. So it's actually safe installation of this theater pipe organ. It's really exciting. So I'll probably get the terminology wrong. My dad will probably correct me. That's okay. I'm fine with it. This has been my dad's passion to do pipe organs and things like that since forever, before I was even around. He went to college for pipe organ construction and performance. And this has been something that's been in his blood and family blood for years. So really excited you guys to see this part of my family, my dad's passion, my brother's passion, and my family's passion for this historic instrument. So here we go. I've always loved how curious my dad is about all the things and how he's very detail oriented. And it's fun watching him do the things he does. And this is not an uncommon position that I've seen him in throughout my childhood and my life. Seeing him checking everything out from the lower side up. It's pretty fun, actually. All right, guys. So what you are basically seeing here is we have some theatrical union team members from the IALSI trade scheme here helping strap together and actually bolt together the trussing. Putting the trussing together. The trussing has a 250-pound base plate that goes on the bottom of each leg. That'll help hold it in place. You'll see that there's protection blankets on the floor, protection liner on the floor, and they're getting it all strapped together so they can put this goalpost style truss more upright so they can utilize it to lift the organ. And you're seeing Josh and Mackenzie over there. They were doing some tests on what positioning to use, and they are now lowering one of the legs so that they can get it connected to its top goalpost and get it ready to stand up. And then that will be how they get the staging space properly to get the organ in. All right. Hi, everybody. I'm so excited. This is my dad, Dan. I call him Daddy. And we get to have a father-daughter adventure today with my brother in the background. And today's really special because I've always wanted to see a theater pipe organ or theater organ. And we're actually sitting next to one right now, the console for it. And I would love for you to kind of give the history of what this is and why we're doing what we're doing today.
Well, this is a very interesting project that my company's been asked to do. Interesting in very many ways. First of all, it's unusual to find a theater pipe organ in a church. This came from a theater and was reassembled in the gymnasium at Emmanuel Lutheran Church in Colorado Springs and resides here now. The organ pipes and all of the piano and all of the xylophone and everything that's part of the theater organ all sits on the stage up here, is all installed in the stage. But the console, this huge big thing that we're sitting next to here, was stored in the kitchen here for a while.
Wow.
And now they need to put it up on the stage deck so that it can be with the rest of the organ, and it gives them the gymnasium floor back for them to be able to use for sports activities and basketball. But the Theater Organ Society comes here and does their presentations in this gym, so you can actually come and hear this organ performed on. But to do this, we have to erect a whole truss apparatus and lift this machine up, put some stage underneath it, and roll it onto the other stage. You can't just pick it up, it's too big, or you'd have to take it apart in many pieces in order to get up there.
Right.
So it's a bit of a challenging project. And once it's done, it'll be living on this stage here, all of it together. And you can come to Emmanuel Lutheran Church and you can hear it played.
So, what is the difference between a pipe organ, and there's many versions of that, and a theater pipe organ?
Well, they still use pipes and wind chests and wind to make them work, but a theater organ is different from a church pipe organ that you would find. There are different sounds that are in theater organs, including percussions and whistles and bird whistles and automobile horns and train whistles, and then the sound of the organ is generated through different stops called tibias and reeds and things like that. There are families of sounds that are unique to the theater organ, and most of it you would recognize pretty quickly because of the tremolo, the vibration or the vibrato of the sound that happens with theater organs. And these would be the sounds of organs you would have heard played to silent movies. Um, a church organ is a very different instrument. It does not have this kind of a unique theater quality to it in general. It's made for a different purpose, to play hymns and worship and historic literature for the organ. But they're similar. The two types of organs are very similar in the fact they still use pipes, they still use wind, they still have the same general kind of keyboards. So there's not that much difference between them, other than the overall tonal makeup has a different intention for each purpose.
So it's my understanding that some of these have like drum sets, snares,
This
and
has a
kick
drum
drums
set,
and stuff in it.
snares. It has chimes. It has xylophones. It has
And they're
boat whistles, various different things.
and they're not samples; they're the
No,
actual
this is a
things.
real. So the piano stop that's in this organ is actually a piano. There's a piano backstage played by this console. There's also chimes. There's also an actual xylophone. Will have mallets that hits the xylophone, and the drums. There's actually a hi hat. There's a snare drum. There's a kick drum. All of these things that are in there are real pieces of band equipment.
That's amazing. So is that something that maybe we can take a peek at later?
Yes.
That's exciting.
Yes.
Well, my most exciting part is I get time with my dad today. It's been a beautiful drive down, and he wore my favorite color.
Yep.
So it's definitely a good time. But we get to watch Josh and Mackenzie, my brother. Josh and Mackenzie get to lead this wonderful team here, and then Dad's supervising because that's what you need to do to make sure that this priceless thing gets in the right place. But we're gonna just enjoy watching the process and getting to see the backstage maybe in a little bit.
Yep.
Thanks, Dad.
Love you.
Love you too. Beautiful piece.
That work for you?
That's beautiful. Thank you. These wonderful gentlemen opened it up for me.
material. You gonna ride it up there? You gonna ride it up there? He wants to stay on.
I'm sure. Ride it like a.
He wants to get a.
Hi. Taking your picture. That's all right. All right. What you're looking at here is two chain motors. My brother just ran them up onto their chain, prepping to rig on this side. And then it looks like they are getting ready to raise this goalpost up, ready to do the next step. So these guys are all really excited about the setting up of the organ. They're curious about the rigging and they're prepping the console for all of the things that need to be done, getting all the little details in place, taking pride in their instrument. All the different manuals. So this is a 4 manual pipe organ console. So that means it has 1, 2, 3, 4 keyboards to play on. Really, really, really cool. And something that most people don't get to see is all of the stops and the pedals on the bottom. Really cool. So I have a question. What is this structure you're building?
Building a lift called a gantry lift, so we can lift an organ onto this stage.
Mm-hmm. Is it going smooth for you?
Had a few re-engineering designs, but it's going pretty smooth so far.
But that's normal.
That's normal,
Yeah.
especially when you're doing conventional things.
Mm-hmm. So, in case you guys don't know, this is a really good friend of mine. His name is Mackenzie. He's pretty much like a brother. Yeah.
There's no pretty much about it.
No. We're just family. So, but okay, so you've got 2 chain motors on one side. You
Yep.
put 2 on this side?
Yep.
Okay. And then
4-point lift.
okay.
We'll lift the organ straight up,
Okay.
and then we're going to build a platform underneath it. And then
Nice.
we'll let it down on the platform and roll it right onto the fixed stage.
Pretty spectacular. I'm excited
Hopefully.
to see it.
Me too.
So, what's your role here, sir? This is my brother Josh, by the way. I love him
Technically
dearly.
playing assistant to Mackenzie here.
Yeah.
He's the one who's got the plan.
Mm-hmm.
His team. So
Yeah. A lot of people are going to ask about the family. Like, is this a family business? I've been answering yes, but they should hear it from you because you're deep in it. Yeah. It's awesome. I think Dad's ready for the crew. You guys ready to
Already.
see if it works?
yeah, we're gonna lift this one up here and get some motors up there, and then some decking, a bit of decking, and 5 minutes, and then we take it all back apart.
Sweet. That's awesome. Excited to see it. So now they're adjusting it. They're doing it to exact measurement. They've got to get it placed exactly to fit the organ and the stage. So now that they've got this in place, they'll put the chain motors on and then they'll roll the organ into place to hang it. And basically what you're going to see is they're going to be doing a straight up lift so that the pipe organ will be in the air when they build the stage underneath it. It's going to be pretty crazy. There goes the chain motor rigging. It's called a span set that he's using. Putting a shackle into it. And then from there, he'll connect the chain for the chain motor. Comes the chain. One thing that people don't always know is that chain motors, they do a lot of great work for lifting, but they're also a very dangerous unit to work with. So when Josh starts feeding that chain into the chain motor up top, as he has to use the chain to lift the chain motor, you see at the top of the chain motor, that's where you can get fingers cut off and pinched and all sorts of things broken. So you have to be very aware of your surroundings when you're working with chain motors. So if you look at this one here, that's how it's going to hang once he gets it up. Right now, we're putting up another span set.
Working on my shorts.
Oh, I love my family.
Here's my thin side, right?
The most excellent side, dude. Funny. All right, there goes Josh handing that up. And then while Mackenzie's hooking that up, Josh is feeding the chain out. Over here. The idea with a chain motor is when it's in its case, it'll lift itself out, but you can feed it its own chain. Now they're going to connect electrical to it and the controls. And Mackenzie just handed Josh basically the pickle is what that's called. The pickle is the control button for the chain motor, for an individual chain motor. Now he's going to start feeding it. There's a rhyme and a reason for how you do what you do with chain motors, and that's why he stacked the chain outside of it, and hopefully it just smoothly feeds itself. You never want to reach in and try to fix the chain while you're running it. Oh joy. So yeah, chain motors. This is comedy right here. He's just fixing stuff. Anyway, we're back here. So eventually they'll run through all the chain that's on the ground and lift itself out of its own box. Pretty cool. Yeah, he's about ready to see that. Feeding in the last chain. Mackenzie's testing the next pickle. All right, so that motor is about to raise itself up. You'll notice how he keeps his hands way away from the motor itself because it doesn't know between you and the chain. So you always want to keep your hands clear. There you go. And then goes the next one. These guys are getting their pipe organ console, theater organ console ready for the lift. They've cleaned it, they've prepped it, and now they're putting all the coverings back on to protect it for its next part of its journey. Up in the air. So dad is going ahead and he's coaching them on what's going to happen, and he's letting them know all the things that are at risk right now with the lift and the adjustments that might need to be made just in case. There was a lot of energy in this right now. A lot of people are excited, concerned, of course, because it's a historical instrument. We don't want anything damaged. It's going to go great. All right, so the team is now bringing in all of the steel pipes that are going to be used for this process to secure the truss safely and to prepare to fly the pipe organ. Prepare to fly the pipe organ. Lots of nerves happening, but it's good. It's controlled. Josh and Mackenzie have done all sorts of crazy lifts. So is my dad over the years. So this isn't unusual for them to do what they're doing. Making it really safe and secure, making sure that there's no reason for the truss to have any problems so that they can be sturdy. So, all right, the team is bringing in the stage decks that we've put together. There's the braces that go underneath, and then the cross braces under here. It's kind of like building a scaffolding system, but it's for stage. Josh was telling me they've estimated that the pipe organ console weighs about 1,750 pounds. So that's why they're putting all the extra support and struts in to make sure that we are overcompensating and ready for all the weight that goes into this. All right, now is the big moment. They're going to roll the pipe organ console over. I keep calling the pipe organ, the theater organ console over and under the truss rig. It's amazing. Look at this, you guys. It's getting there. They're lining it up with the chain motors. Really, really cool. I'm getting quiet because it's intense and I want to listen to what they're saying. But Josh is working with Mackenzie to make sure the proper cross braces are in place to protect all the systems here. All right, so the next step is they're going to put the stage deck riser parts underneath the truss. So once the organ is raised, they can slide it under it. And that way they're not having to be under it too long. But you don't ever want to be under a rig for very long. So now things are moving. Now things are moving really, really quick. They're getting the rigging done on the bars underneath the console, while the team is building this staging to get it in place once the organ is in the air. Really doesn't need to go up that high, but high enough. All right, you can see Josh down here prepping the rig. He's down beneath the pipe organ. Pressure on place. They're going down underneath, making sure the pipe is in its proper location so that the rigging stays secure in its proper spot. He's doing a choke with the span sets around those pipes. It's also because this side's they're only for putting tension on it. It's got a handle on that chain motor, you can hold on to it. Okay, we are close to launch.
I won't fall very far. If you get there,
Yep, I'm being quiet, guys. Sorry, but the reason is I'm just watching everything. I used to tour on the road, so did Nate, and with my dad and his business, because they had a company called DB Production Services. For many years before that, they had a company named DB Enterprises. So I used to tour with Dan Quayle and the Pope and Billy Graham, and we did all sorts of things like Jars of Clay and Ethan Talk, old Christian stuff from the 1990s and 80s. And a lot of this is very familiar to me from the years I spent touring and my growing up years. Josh and I both were raised basically living in buses and semis and RVs, so this is normal for us. But I am watching it, and if I get quiet, it's just because I'm observing all the different things that you would normally watch as someone in charge of this. It's officially floating. This is when they do the test to make sure the load looks right on the trussing. There's no going, there's no issues there. Gives it a chance to settle in to make sure that all of the areas on the unit you're lifting isn't going to have any compromise. Looks like it's sturdy and solid and ready to go. So now they're going to focus their attention while that's resting on the stage deck so that they're prepared to put that in, because there's no point in leaving that hanging up high for packing. The double checking, double measuring. And the reason I'm not up asking questions right now is because if I was in charge, I'd be focused on that and not want to be asked questions. So that's why I'm staying back here, because it's their project. They know what they're doing.
Making sense to you now?
Quite a little audience here. Everybody who's keeping an eye on their precious instrument here. Just making sure that they get to see how it's going to fly. We'll get you a wider view. So this is what it looks like from kind of wide out in the gym. And then backing up here. So there's the rig. It's braced together. Pipe organ is floating. Theater organ. I'm going to keep saying it wrong the rest of the time. But, yeah. I'm getting messages from my mom at the same time. She's excited to hear how things are going. Yeah, they're just setting the stage height. So if you notice, see, Mackenzie's over here with the measuring tape, and he's putting out the proper height of the stage deck plus the thickness of the top, so that when they are ready, they can just set the thing underneath and be golden to go. So now we just wait for this process to get done so that they don't have that to wait on once it's in the sky. All right, I've been given a task to make sure it stays level. Well, this is what we're gonna do. Yep. All right. Next step. Placing it without putting it under the load. Not putting yourselves under the load. So now they're going to have to adjust the height of the stage. Someone lift for him on the end, please.
On that interface. Like walking out, you want my hair, just so we can get over that micro pushing up. About 2 screws right back there, and we can get it. That's pretty good. How much you want?
We're going to move back a little bit. So they're gonna have a deck that's on top of those braces and then a deck that floats between the two braces. That should be technically 3 total decks. And then back up my picture for my dad is they're busy and they don't get to document what they do. The reason they put that one on first is so that the frame is actually square. Then they can float it over. And they're gonna bring it in and they're gonna put a top and then slide it across. And all this I'm carefully doing without being underneath the load as much as possible. Is locked in, ready to go. Okay. You're gonna lower it a little bit, keep it from being too high in one spot. All right, here we go, guys. Coming down.
You're going back down, down. Call. 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, that makes me nervous, but it's great. They're doing great. Okay, they're gonna remove the rigging from the pipe. They're gonna remove the rigging from the theater organ. And we call that all hands on deck when everybody's got their hands on it to keep it from falling or
I'm
sliding.
gonna take some load off these motors over here. Some more once you're on top. Leave them right there so I don't smash. Good. Clear over there. And bring it.
You're gonna hear terms like upstage and downstage. That's because theater terms are based off of Grecian theater. So upstage is towards the back of the stage, and downstage is towards the front of the stage. And the reason for that is Greek theater was at an angle so that you could see all the actors. And the back of the stage was higher than the front of the stage, so you could see all of the things going on the stage. That's why people call it upstage and downstage. Okay, so Mackenzie's removing the brace across from the truss in the back, and they're going to be figuring out how to maneuver the pipe organ's casters so it can just roll straight onto the stage.
Yeah, no idea. No. That will be hard. I hold front side up.
Pulling their pipes.
I know, right? Right. Next slide. This pipeline catch on the brake. Back up. Back up. Good. You want to turn these guns first?
All right. Josh is putting his body in the way to keep it from going anywhere.
Your side over there, we're hit the truss over here, so you hit the back counterclockwise. There we go. Straight in.
There it goes.
Front wheels are on. Back wheels are on.
It's on stage.
Woo!
Well done. Well done.
Awesome.
All right, well, they made it, guys. They got it all the way on to the stage. So now they get to reverse the process, take down the stage decks and the trussing and chain motors and all that, put that away. And then the project for today is like the big part of it is done. Now we'll just have to hook it up and just to make sure it's working just fine. And then they got it. It's amazing. They did such a great job, but I knew they would. I knew they would do a great job. So anyway, that's what it takes to lift an almost 1 ton unit instrument onto a stage. And that is a historical piece. It's really cool. So now, with all them hubbub is done, maybe we'll get to see the backside. We'll see.
Keep the basketball going.
Mm-hmm. And of course, my dad has to chip in, help out. He's awesome that way. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but there's a huge blower behind the walls here, and you can hear it filling the rows. Oh, right. There it goes back. There's a pillow in the back that allows the pipes to be seen through the room. Really cool. These guys are all excited. It's awesome.
You got it?
So there it is, you guys, in the gymnasium here at the church. And while all the noise of takedown happens, an amazing historical instrument gets to play. And has an air of excitement.
Good job.
All right, the guys are all excited. It's funny, every time I start a video. They've been excited. They wanted to get started playing on it. And so they're going to do it while it's all construction going around it. Organ. Why don't you introduce yourself and who this gentleman is here?
I'm Mark Collison. I'm with Emmanuel Lutheran Church. I'm the vice president on the council. Dan Hoffel is with the Pikes Peak Theater Organ Society, and Dan was actually here when the organ was built in about 2011.
2011 and 2012.
Right. So 2 year.
2012.
Right. About a 2 year build.
1 year.
Our 1 year build. with a gentleman named Dave Wiesner, who was the owner of the organ. Unfortunately, Dave passed away in 2021, and the family donated the organ to the church. So the church, so Emmanuel and the Pikes Peak Organ Society, we're working, kind of in a mutual, mutual approach to making sure that the organ is. We use it for sack lunch serenades during the summer. We do a program in December for during the Christmas holidays. Moving it up to the stage though was really an opportunity to get more access and availability of the instrument to multiple organists who want to come and utilize it.
That's
So we're
awesome.
very appreciative of the effort today that went in today as far as to get it up there. And let's kind of take you back into the chamber and we'll show you some of the unique setup back there.
All right, come on, introduce yourself one more time.
We'll tell you what, we're going to take you up into the back of the chamber, show you some of the different ranks as far as how they're set up in there, and some of the unique construction that went into putting a very large instrument into I'll say, modest-sized school gymnasium that has a character all its own. So let's go ahead and walk back to the chamber. You have your key?
Hold off for a while. Hold the door all the way back.
I'm just going to pull this out for a sec. Let me just take that out there.
Okay. This is the largest theater pipe organ in Colorado. 35 ranks, 2,600 pipes. There are pipes down here, there are pipes up there, there are pipes over here, and almost about the same thing on the other side.
So the chamber stretches across the entire length of the stage. So when you see the outlets as far as for how those were cut in, a lot of that was to allow a lot of the sound coming out of the different pipes to be able to get into the gymnasium itself. When we do the sack lunch serenades here, there's a really good, the instrument more than fills up the room, from a sound standpoint. So a lot of power behind it, but a lot of great craftsmanship went into the construction of the chamber back here, and you can kind of see, in every nook and cranny. And Heidi, if you step in and do like a quick 180 and then look up, you can kind of see even where pipes, where some of the pipes were used in, every last little inch of space that was in here. And then if you step through, gives you good appreciation as far as for the construction of a pipe, the pipe gallery back here. And then actually, I'm going to trade places with you. That's me. If you can get back in there, sure, and see again some of the pipe galleries that are sitting up on the top above us as well.
The ranks.
Yeah, or the ranks. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm a little schooled.
The percussion is up behind that wall up there.
Okay. And what does that consist of?
That consists of drums, cymbals, tune sleigh bells, xylophone, marimba, and bird whistle, and all sorts of different things that normally winds up in a theater pipe organ.
Very cool.
Tom-toms, horse hooves, just all kinds of interesting.
Very cool. Thank you so much.
The ladder in there goes up to the percussion chamber.
Cool. And then you can see
They like to call it the toy counter up there. I don't
the camera.
know. Theater organ people call it the toy counter up there in the percussion chamber where all the toys are.
That's very cool. What a special thing. Very cool. And then these are how they control the volume out in the front.
Right.
Very cool.
And this cable connects to the console, and then each one of these wires goes to a pipe or whatever you're going to play. There are 96 different possible outputs from this. This all gets decoded digitally.
Very cool. Thank you for showing us.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. This has been amazing. They showed me reel to reel videos. It was so loud in the back and you couldn't hear anything. So I'm telling you about it now. But they have the reel to reel movies from the old black and white films that didn't have any audio. But they play with their black and white cinema nights with this pipe organ. And they were saying how the organists come in and they get to just enjoy telling the story of the movie through the sound of the organ and all the different sounds. It's so cool. And they're talking about how they can expand the way that they can reach the community and show off the pipe organ. They actually have another beautiful pipe organ in the chapel here that's rather large and can do some incredible pieces. And so I think it's neat. It's a neat opportunity for an old instrument and a couple of old instruments to be given a new life and an opportunity to be seen by a younger generation. So, but yeah, I love it. It's great. And I don't know if there's going to be anything else that we get to see here, but I have really enjoyed my time and I'm glad I got to bring you guys along. And with that, just enjoy the organ music here behind me and just know that we're thinking about you. And we look forward to seeing you again. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow us. Share us if you don't mind. Help our family get more followers and subscribers. That would really help us because we would really love to have this become a way for us to make an income. And your support creates that for us. So thank you for being a part of this with us. And you guys have a blessed day. See you soon.